And now it's Tim. Come on. Yes. And once again, there's an opportunity to ask questions to both Tim and Ida. Either by raising your hand or sending a text to the telephone number on your badge. So, do we have any questions for Tim or Ida?
Nope.
Well, I know that you have a good one.
I have one for Ida. You said Gothenburg is taking over. Yes, but is it possible to see a gender coach program in Sweden or perhaps even in Nordic?
Yes. If I could dispense some advice, it was really necessary. Because reflection and thinking upon your action, sometimes even chiefs get hostage in the way they sort of lean into a corner. They can't get rid of that corner. They need perspective and they need help sometimes to move further on and keep going. So the first thing is, yes, I think we must continue. I really hope so. We got inspired by the military service, who's been conducting a program like this for many, many years and been really successful with the Supreme Commander and all his colleagues. So they have very good both evaluations on the program and also the progress that they've made. So if I could make a wish, looking back at my career, it would be that this program would keep going. And maybe in a Nordic way, discussing how you work with structure and how you work with culture. Because sometimes pressure is really hard to handle. And structure is policy making and how you work with different levels when it comes to salary and recruitment process and so on. So yes, could we do that on a Nordic way? I think it would be more sustainable as well.
What do you say, Tim? Does that sounds interesting?
Yeah, it does. It sounds very interesting. We don't have any work like that in Denmark. I think we're trying to start it up very soon, but I think we can learn a lot from your network and the work you're doing.
I could come over.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, but the greatest benefit is by making leaders reflect on which path do they want to go, and getting support each other and help each other, and with the coach to reflect on behaviors and what they actually do. So.
Yes, yes. I think we have a question from the audience.
Yeah, I have a question for Tim. I was wondering if you think the fire and rescue service, is it a hard arena to stand out as a gay person?
It's a difficult question for me, because as I said, I have never met anything but respect. But I know from colleagues and friends around in Denmark that it can be quite hard. Of course, my position is, I'm in a position in our organization, so people maybe look at me as a leader or something. And then it's maybe more, it's easier to step up. If you're the youngest ambulance man on the station, it's maybe not that easy to step up. So yes, it can still be quite hard, and we still got a work to do. The culture is different from fire service to fire service, so there's still a way to go. Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes. Do we have any other questions? Yes. Somewhere.
Yes. We have the first question coming in via SMS. Thank you. It's for you, Ida. And it's simply, can you tell a little bit more about NJR?
Yes. It's a gathering with all the fire and rescue services in Sweden. The members at the moment are around 85. We pay 1,000 Swedish krona each year. For that amount, we get the ability to share experiences and share information. And every year there's a chairperson leading the NGR gathering with support from the Swedish Civil Contingency Agency. So this year has been Attunda, where I'm chief, and next year it will be Gothenburg. And during that year we give inspirational workshops together with the civil blah 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 blah, and then we do
Very important.
Very important. And we do that together, and then we try to inspire. This year has been around pressure because. Pressure is something every culture is different, as Tim mentioned. When you enter one firehouse, you can always sense it, and then you can come to the same organization and sense another culture. In other words, culture lives in us, what I've spoken of. Your relationships with each other, and how you're being inclusive, and how you stand strong for others and such. So we try to share that kind of experiences together. And the Gender Coach program was a side list, so we try to do that, to articulate leadership, to stand strong, keep going, and really work with recruitment and work with, transformation within. So, basically, MGR stands for a gathering. We try to help each other, and next year, Gothenburg will chair the position.
Yes, we look forward to that.
Absolutely.
And we actually have one more question.
Wow.
Yes, this question comes from Lima Hassel, and it's to both Tim and Ida. In what way do you think an employer, in the best way, can support individuals that want to challenge a workplace norms and culture?
Should we start with Tim?
I'm not sure I understand the question right. Can I have it again, please?
Yes. In what way do you think an employer, in the best way, can support individuals who want to challenge the norms and culture at your workplace?
Yes, thanks. I think my best answer is about the tone on the workplace. Is to be friendly and open about the tone and other persons. Not speaking bad about other groups, other ethnic minorities and stuff like that. So being friendly and open about and secure there's a good tone on the workplace.
Very clever question, Rima. Okay, I'm going to state this just open. This service needs contrarians. Okay, we actually do got a major problem with too less women and not being too inclusive. We wouldn't have met here otherwise. We got a really important task in front of us, so your question articulates just what we need to work with. We are too many, not you guys, but maybe outside of this door, who just keep nodding and doesn't have the courage to step forward and say, this is not okay, I feel that your behavior right now is, well, making me feeling small. So what's my best advice as a manager on this kind of contrarian contribute? Is this first, put the end line. What's okay and what's not okay. That needs to be done. For instance, we have groups setting the norms. If a chief enters a group, it's very common that the group closes. And they gain so much power and could even, shuffle out that kind of chief or that kind of person. So you must really understand power dynamics within groups and then help the contrarians to gain land. What I mean by that is contrarians need a surface to work with supportive teams around them. And we as chiefs must understand that we have an obligation to really live our values and stand strong for all of those who cannot make their voice heard at the moment. Well, I think we should look into ourselves and why we keep nodding and why we don't step forward and say stop in case dysfunctional norms or dysfunctional behaviors occurs at the workplace. Action, in a way, and supporting contrarians would be my answer. Det betyder en sån här som ifrågasätter, alltså om du kommer och så är du liksom avvikande och så har du en annan uppfattning, säg att du glider in och så, ja, har du inte den här, du ser inte ut som the costume you're supposed to fill, you don't look like the norm, and you have another opinion and you want to sort of state that opinion, ask question, can't we do this, can't we do that, or even stating the obvious, I don't feel comfortable right now. Then you're a contrarian because you challenge the norm and you challenge the culture and you want to bring another perspective in. And sometimes doing so is you get personal risks. Then the focus will be on you, not the norm of the group. But then, all of a sudden, the risks are on your side. And that's very difficult for a contrarian to live that way in a business where the norm is really tight and strong. So that's why you need to support them and get supporting teams around them, because we need the contrarians to question why aren't we looking like society in general? What can we do different? You know, all those questions.
So, do we have time for one more question? Okay? Yes. Mike is on its way.
Thank you again. So why do you think, Ida, you say we don't look like the society in general? Why do you think we're not represented like the society in general? Do you understand my question?
Yes, and it's a very complex question. That's a really hard silver bullet answer.
Yeah, but why I'm asking you is because if we're aiming for one thing, we need to know why we're aiming for it. And then we need to know, like, the factors contributing to this, because we state it as a problem. But you could give, like, answer to say that it's natural, you can say it's constructed, and you can say it's in between.
I think you're on, it's a grey zone answer in a way, but I think it's in between. To understand the needs of society is important for us. I'm participating on a governmental mandate when it comes to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and we made a great analysis on gender equality. And to understand why we're not represent society, it could be many factors, as you stated. What my point of view is that we need to create organizations that are functional and professional and meets the needs of society, with a diverse approach, of course. And as Edna mentioned, we could be different on handling that approach. But when we ask ourselves the question, why don't we look like society, the answer could be many answers. It could be because it's culture, because the role models are just contributing in their way, or this, or this, or this, or that. So it's difficult to give just a silver bullet answer to your question, but my point of view is that we need to ask ourselves the question, do we want to reflect on society or not? Do we want to understand the needs of society or not? That's a choice. And from my point of view, the choice is the only possibility we have. And we must make choices. We only have two musts in our life. We must die, and we must make choices. So we can do that. Everyone in this room can make choices. And I would like to stimulate the way of making choices so we could be with a more diverse perspective, looking at both our service chains and our value chains and what we actually do deliver. But I ain't got the silver bullet on why we don't reflect society. It could be recruitment, dogma, norms,
biology.
American movies, I don't know.
Biology.
No.
Yes. Thank you all for your questions, and thank you, Ida and Tim, for sharing your experiences with us today.
Thank you.